When you visit OnePlus.com, you'll be greeted by this page that reveals how OnePlus wants you to think about their new smartphone. The words Pro, Max, and Ultra are crossed out, and clearly that's a reference to the best smartphones currently out there. The Pixel 7 Pro from Google, the iPhone 14 Pro Max from Apple, and the Galaxy S23 Ultra from Samsung. OnePlus wants you to know that this phone, the OnePlus 11, like those other phones, is premium, but not overpriced. The phone launches with a reasonable $699 price tag. But the question is it the same caliber as all those other phones it hopes to go up against? And is the OnePlus 11 actually a pro phone in disguise? Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the products I review, the events I attend, and all the exciting people I get to meet along the way. And most importantly, I help you find the right gadget to match your needs. This is our OnePlus 11 review. Before we take a look at this year's phone, let's first look back at last year's models. This is the entry-level OnePlus 10T, and this is the OnePlus 10 Pro. Both are very similar, but with some distinct differences. The Pro model has a curved front screen instead of a flat one, an alert slider, and its camera module melds with the phone's frame, and the Hasselblad logo printed on it. Okay, so this is the new OnePlus 11, and if you look closely, it resembles last year's Pro model. Just like the OnePlus 10 Pro, it's also got a curved front screen, the alert slider is back, and its glossy camera module, while in this new circular shape, still feels part of the phone's frame. And more importantly, it's got that Hasselblad branding. More on what that means a little bit later. But first, let's talk about color. So for the last few years or so, OnePlus has offered their phones in a shade of green. There was glacial green, pine green, emerald forest, and jade green. This year, it's called eternal green. It's got gray undertones and is a bit muted, but I love it. This year, green is the glossy option. The black model is matte, giving users choice between the type of finish they prefer. Despite its muted colors, the glossy finish on the eternal green OnePlus 11 gives this phone a more flashy appearance, and I definitely loved using it without a case. But before you get too excited, it's worth pointing out that if you want this color, you'll need to spend $100 more, as it's only available on the 16 plus 256 gigabyte model. The $699 8 plus 128 gigabyte OnePlus 11 only comes in Titan Black. That variant has a matte back that glistens in the light and is more understated but still elegant. Apart from finish, shape of the camera, and a teeny bit of weight, the OnePlus 11 is exactly the same size as the OnePlus 10 Pro. I think it's one of the most beautiful Android phones of late. I love the shape of the camera bump, how shiny it is, the gentle curves on both sides makes the phone feel thinner in the hands. The only complaint I've heard from my friends is how slippery it is, although I personally don't mind. If it's supposed to go head-to-head or toe-to-toe with the best smartphones in the market today, the OnePlus 11 needs to be able to compete spec-wise. And in typical OnePlus fashion, it delivers while keeping prices low. It's got a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, the best from Qualcomm, just not that overclocked version that's on Samsung's S23 series. It comes with up to 16 gigabytes of DDR5X RAM and up to 256 gigabytes of UFS 4.0 storage. Although the $699 base model only comes with 128 gigabytes. It's got a 6.7-inch super fluid AMOLED display with a dynamic refresh rate that goes from 1 Hz to 120 Hz. Wi-Fi 7 support, a dual nano SIM card tray, a quick and reliable in-display fingerprint sensor, great haptics, support for Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos with its dual reality speakers that sound loud and crisp. Suffice to say, if flagship specs are what you care about most, then there's really little to complain about on the OnePlus 11, so I guess you could say it is premium, but less pricey. Now, one area where the OnePlus 11 is both at an advantage and a disadvantage is in terms of charging. The OnePlus 11 comes with a large 5000 mAh battery, a standard in all top-of-the-line phones today, except the iPhone 14 Pro Max. In my tests, the phone lasted a full day of average use and then some. Its leg up versus competition is in terms of wired charging. With 80-watt SuperVOOC charging and dual-cell batteries, from empty, I got to 50% in 15 minutes. A full charge took only 30 minutes, though OnePlus claims 27. Regardless, these times are super impressive. For a full charge, the S23 Ultra takes an hour, the Pixel 7 Pro an hour and 40, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max a full 2 hours. Normally, for battery health, manufacturers slow down charging once a phone gets to 80%, but the OnePlus 11 is consistent and speedy throughout. Now, if you don't want things to be so fast, you can turn off Smart Rapid Charging, and by default, the phone will slow down when charging overnight. It will understand your sleeping and wake-up patterns and only begin to charge after 80 when it's close to your wake-up time. Now, I said charging is both its strength and its weakness. So the pros are fast wired charging, but the con is no support for wireless charging. Now, depending on where you live in the world or what you do and how you go about your life, then this might be a deal breaker or it could not mean anything at all. But considering all of its competitors have wireless charging and the OnePlus 10 Pro also has that super fast 50-watt AirVOOC, OnePlus should have really just kept it in. But I'm curious what you think, so let me know down below. Finally, it's time to talk about the cameras on the OnePlus 11. There are three. A 50-megapixel main camera with OIS and an f1.8 aperture, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 115-degree field of view, and a 32-megapixel portrait telecamera with an f2.0 lens and 2x zoom. In front, there's also a 16-megapixel selfie camera. A couple of things to note here, like last year's OnePlus 10 Pro, there's a Hasselblad partnership, which covers things like color tuning and some cool effects that mimic Hasselblad lenses. Also, on paper, these specs fall behind the offerings of Google, Samsung, and Apple. Notice there's no optical image stabilization apart from the main lens, and for a premium phone, also missing is a 3x telephoto camera. Although 2x is better than nothing. Anyway, as I always say, the proof is in the photos, so let's take a look at some. Let's first start with some comparison photos versus the OnePlus 10 Pro. A couple of things I want to point out. Color accuracy seems to be better on the OnePlus 11. Most likely that can be attributed to the addition of a light spectral sensor, which can reduce color bias that is caused by surrounding light. So for example, in this photo of Chai, while the yellow backdrop remains the same, her skin tone is more color accurate on the OnePlus 11. Overall, this sensor and the new ISP on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 are superior. Bokeh is better in portrait mode, and at night it produces brighter photos. Notice the dust on the foreground of this night scene, or in this portrait photo of me. This photo was so hard to take, the OnePlus 10 Pro didn't want to focus, while it was an easy snap on the OnePlus 11, which produced the sharper image even if there was very little available light. The ultra-wide-angle camera also sports a new sensor, which supposedly does better at HDR photography and producing punchier photos. It also has macro mode built in, which didn't exist on the 10 Pro. Here's one example of a nail. To get close, I used the zoom lens on the 10 Pro, but here's a shot using macro mode on the 11. Finally, where the 10 Pro gets an advantage is in its 3.3x zoom lens. Obviously, having more zoom lets you punch in further for shots like this. Alright, enough comparisons. I'm sure some of my YouTuber friends already have comparison videos in the works. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy some more photos that I shot using the OnePlus 11. Now it's time to test out video mode on the OnePlus 11. Right now we're shooting at 4K 60 FPS, but you can go up to 8K 24 frames per second. I'm walking around so that you can get an idea what video stabilization might be like, but if you want to use their Ultra Steady Pro mode, you'll have to bump down to 1080p. What does the video look like? Let me know down below. Hey guys, I've made it to my hotel in Manhattan. OnePlus put me up for the night because the live viewing party tomorrow is at 8 a.m. so I'm going to have to wake up really early, so I'm really thankful that they put me up for the night. I am going to use this opportunity to test the low light or the nighttime selfie video on the OnePlus 11. This is a sample right here. Let me know what you think. I also wanted to deliver some good news. I will be at the OnePlus pop-up in Soho in Manhattan on February 11th. That's right. If you're around, we can talk about the new OnePlus 11, take photos, and participate in some fun activities where prizes await. Hope to see you there. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at pricing. The OnePlus starts at $699 for the 8 plus 128GB model and goes up to $799 for the 16 plus 256GB model. The Pixel 7 Pro from Google was $899 at launch, but now retails for $749. I'm not sure if that's a permanent price drop. The Galaxy S23 Ultra is $1199.99, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max starts at $1099. So the OnePlus 11 is the cheapest of the bunch, but the Pixel 7 Pro is now just $50 more. OnePlus is also keeping the OnePlus 10 Pro around at a reduced price of $599. So is the OnePlus 11 your gadget match? Let's first go back to the questions I left for you at the beginning of this video. Is it the same caliber as those phones it hopes to go up against? This might be a controversial answer, but personally, where it matters, I believe the OnePlus 11 can go toe-to-toe with the phones that it hopes to go up against, or the phones that it's called out. Sure, its cameras are not as great, but on their own, photos I've taken using this phone have been very good. The only thing missing is wireless charging, but it makes up for it by offering wired charging that's twice as fast as its competitors. Some will say, why not just get the OnePlus 10 Pro? It's $100 cheaper now. And to that, I'd say the improvements offered by the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, the newer image sensors, and the better photo processing, macro mode, and the dual nano SIM card slots all make this a better buy and a worthy upgrade in my opinion. And is the OnePlus 11 a Pro model in disguise? The second question is easy. OnePlus has already gone ahead and said that it does not intend on releasing a Pro phone this year, so this is it. This is basically your OnePlus 11 Pro. Now, whether or not they do decide to release one at a later date, I think is aside the point. What OnePlus is trying to do here, at least in my opinion, is to return to its roots by offering a flagship phone for less, and that is exactly what the OnePlus 11 is all about. And that was our OnePlus 11 review. If you like content like this, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. We have a lot more videos coming your way, so make sure you have that bell notification ticked so that you get notified as soon as we upload. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun stuff. And as always, for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.